Meanwhile, First Lady-in-Waiting Melania Trump, well, she's signed a deal with Amazon worth a whopping 64 million Australian dollars to license a documentary about her life with cameos from husband Donald and their son Barron. And what's more, the doco is set to be made by Australian media mogul James Packer and his production company RatPac Entertainment. It promises to give viewers an unprecedented behind-the-scenes look at the notoriously private former model. Now, Lucy, this is something I would definitely watch. And I think the way that Melania Trump has been treated, particularly during the first Trump presidency, was appalling. She seems to me like a devoted mum, and I would like to see more of her, especially if that means more cute home videos of baby Barron, which we've seen some releases of lately.
I love it, and I think it would be great, and to have that insight into her, because as you said there, she has been notoriously private, and I think that that's largely in part to the fact she didn't sign up for this, right? She ended up with this billionaire, this swanky guy that, you know, provided her a connection to the world effectively, and contacts and, you know, endless security in terms of financial success and all of those things. So to come into this and to be thrust into the spotlight the way that she was as the First Lady of America, which is the most, second to the President, one of the most, I guess, publicised kind of roles in the world. They were ridiculing her about what she was wearing at every turn. Remember the Christmas decorations and that audio that got leaked? Who gives an F about Christmas stuff and decoration? I loved it. I listened to that audio just recently. But they really were very nasty to her. And they also started asking questions openly, like The Economist, writing articles about and speculating whether or not Barron had autism. Do you remember? Like really nasty.
It was really cruel. I think there was even some really between the lines suggestions that she may have been an escort. I mean, really ugly stuff, Kel. And on top of all of that, I mean, all the elitist outlets like Vogue in the US fawning over people like Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris.
Michelle
Obama on the cover so many times. And yet here was an actual former top model.
Beautiful.
That they refused, an actual clothes source who can make anything look amazing. They refused to put her in the cover or feature her. Other publications wouldn't touch her. I'm glad that, you know, that's in the past, it seems.
And no one's going to say anything rude about Barron these days. He's about 7 feet tall.
That's true. He can take most of them on.
But this is how it's going to end up. Everyone will watch this. This is going to have a massive audience around the world. Everyone will watch Melania Trump, while quietly, in a distant corner, Meghan Markle will be stamping her foot saying, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Yeah, look at my cake.
Look at my cake during a cost of living crisis. She's now a trad wife, as they're known. Like, she wants to make out, like Meghan, that is, that she's this traditional wife that just swans around the kitchen. It wasn't even her kitchen, apparently. They rented this mansion.
The house.
And meanwhile, everyone's struggling to put food on the table, and she's saying, no, use these edible flowers in your cooking. I mean, I dare say that the Melania Trump doco will be a much bigger commercial success than
Melania
anything
is
Meghan
actually
touches.
a real person. She comes across as a real person. Years ago, Clive James, in one of his brilliant television reviews, said that Liza Minnelli could not walk down a flight of stairs sincerely. A flight of stairs was provided to demonstrate this. Meghan Markle can't walk into a kitchen sincerely, and a kitchen was provided to demonstrate this. She is the most unreal person in the world. Melania's got the ring of truth about her.
Well, Amazon, I think, was very smart to pick this up. But also, I've got to say, the recent clips that I was referring to before, we saw Barron, remember that viral one, Lucy, where Barron says in this really heavily accented English, is that I want to use my suitcase. Yeah. And it's like, I know I did a terrible impression, but what was so sweet about that, it's obvious how much time he spent with his mother, Melania, in order for him to actually speak with that kind of access.
Absolutely.
She was a hands-on mum, and with that amount of money, she could afford nannies and she didn't have to be with her kids, but it's clear that she wanted to be with her son and raise him herself.
And I think that's one of the most beautiful and real aspects about her, because for a lot of mums out there, some don't get the choice, but for the ones that do, you know, they love and relish being with their children, as I have, and being their mother. It's the most important time of their lives, and those formative years as well. But, you know, the speculation that she endured all around that, you know, that autism and stuff with respect to Barron was just horrendous. And having to deal with that and in the public domain internationally was just a disgrace. But to be fair, I mean, there have also been accusations of Michelle Obama being a man, right? So
Well,
I don't know which one's the worst.
But never coming from mainstream media. That's the
Never.
difference.
It's always the
come from users
conspiracy.
on the internet.
Yeah,
You know,
it's always the conspiracy theorists.
No, I think there's been, again, this just signals a real cultural shift.